Scorpio Sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
STU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot. My name's Tom. I'm your host. Today is Sunday, December the 20th, 2020. It is the night of WWE's TLC pay-per-view, which we'll be doing a full preview and predictions for a little bit later on in the show. But first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for listening, watching, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at catchhookshoot and to patreon.com/catchhookshoot for bonus content, prowrestlingtees.com/catchhookshoot for all your t-shirt needs. Check out our other web store at catchhookshoot.bigcartel.com, and you can find links to everything that is Catch Hook Shoot. The web store is all the podcasting outlets, YouTube, Twitch, pretty much everything that there is by going to our Linktree page. That's linktr.ee/catchhookshoot, or you can scan this little QR code right here in the corner of the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Scan that, you'll get links to literally everything that is Catch Hook Shoot. So, and if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So let's dive right into everything going on this week in the world of pro wrestling, starting it off with the match of the week. So the match of the week this week comes from NXT, and it was Pete Dunne versus Kyle O'Reilly for the number one contendership for the NXT Championship, which of course is currently held by Finn Balor. This was just a fantastic wrestling match, start to finish. These guys just went out there, beat the hell out of each other, put on a fantastic show, as you'd expect from these two. And Kyle O'Reilly was the winner of this, so he will challenge Finn Balor at New Year's Evil coming up on January the 6th. But if you have not seen this match yet, go back on WWE Network, watch NXT from this past week, check this match out, because Dunne and O'Reilly, you know, I say this a lot about, especially about the Undisputed Era guys, but these are two of the best that NXT has as far as in-ring work, and they put on a fantastic match on NXT this past week, so definitely go back and check out Pete Dunne versus Kyle O'Reilly. So let's keep moving right along with my top three highlights of the week, and that is called the 3 count. So first up on the 3 count this week, we had a bit of a Bullet Club reunion on Impact with Kenny Omega, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. Carl Anderson, of course, a founding member of the Bullet Club, Gallows and Omega, big-time members back in their New Japan days. So, looks like we are going to get an actual 6-man tag team match with these three guys at Impact's Hard to Kill pay-per-view coming up in January. They'll be taking on the Motor City Machine Guns and Rich Swann. That match alone is worth the price of the pay-per-view, so I will more than likely be watching that one, because just the Bullet Club reunion in and of itself is a big moment, but then the booking of this match between these 6 guys is just huge. I mean, you got the Impact World Champion versus the AEW World Champion, who's teaming with the Impact Tag Team Champions against against the Motor City Machine Guns, and this is just going to be a great all-around match. So I'm really, really looking forward to that one. Number 2, Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton played a game of hide and seek this week on Monday Night Raw that kind of went throughout the show and culminated with with Wyatt, not the Fiend yet, finding. Not really finding Randy Orton, but finding his rocking chair from his, the days of the Wyatt family, his rocking chair that you always saw him in his vignettes, and that they brought out to the ring for him and things like that. And Wyatt sat down in the chair, got attacked by Randy Orton. Orton threw Wyatt into a wooden box and set the box on fire. And after burning for a couple of minutes, then box popped open and Wyatt had transformed into the Fiend. So WWE doing a pretty good job, in my opinion, of building this rivalry with these guys. And yeah, it's not a new rivalry, but it's one that I think, minus that weird match that they had at WrestleMania with the bugs and everything being projected on the ring mat, but take that away, and it's a pretty good rivalry that Wyatt and Randy Orton have had. So I'm looking forward to their match coming up at TLC, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And number 3 on the 3 count this week, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, and Jey Uso. Again, another segment that kind of went throughout the show on Smackdown this time. Show started with Kevin Owens in the ring trying to call out Roman. Roman didn't come out. Owens went to the back to look for him. Then, while Owens was in the back, Roman came to the ring. Kevin Owens came back out, got attacked by Jey Uso, got attacked by Jey a few more times throughout the show. And the show ended with Kevin Owens just getting beaten down by Roman and Jey Uso both in the ring, getting buried under a pile of tables and chairs. Yeah, again, doing a pretty good build for their match coming up at TLC tonight. So let's get into the news and rumors and results from the week before we get to the preview of TLC. On Raw, we had a segment of Miz TV with The Miz kind of hinting that he may be cashing in his Money in the Bank contract at the TLC pay-per-view. And that, of course, would have to be sometime during or after the match between AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre. We saw AJ Styles pick up a win over Sheamus. And then just put a pretty good beating on Sheamus with a chair while Sheamus was hung up in the ropes. Hurt Business in a 6-man tag team match picked up a win over Jeff Hardy in the New Day. Lana actually picked up a win over Nia Jax, but then got the crap beaten out of her by Nia and Shayna Baszler, and WWE selling some storyline injuries to Lana, so she is out of the TLC pay-per-view. Her and Asuka were set for a women's tag team championship match against Shayna and Nia. I'll get into that a little bit more in the preview. Elias had an in-ring segment, again trying to play a song and continuing to get interrupted, but the story here is Jackson Riker was out with him, so it looks like Jackson Riker is back on Raw, and he will be with Elias in some capacity. Didn't he did get on the mic, didn't say a whole lot, but they were interrupted by the 24/7 champion R-Truth and his current crop of challengers that chase him all over the place. Miz and Morrison picked up a win in a handicap match over Keith Lee. A lot of stuff going around about Keith Lee the last week or so, about him being sent back to the Performance Center to, kind of sharpen his skills a little bit. And I'm going to talk more about this a little bit later, but people are complaining, he's going to be buried now. Guys, he lost a handicap match to arguably one of the better tag teams in WWE, in The Miz and Morrison. So, wouldn't exactly call him buried. It's not like he got squashed in 30 seconds or anything. So, and it took both of them to get the win over Keith Lee. So, wouldn't worry too much about Keith Lee just yet. Then I already talked about the Firefly Funhouse with the hide and seek segment with Orton and Wyatt. Mace from Retribution picked up a victory over Ricochet. A little bit of a surprise, but I like that Mace finally got some time in the ring. Mace, of course, is Dio Madden, former commentator for Raw, who left that position to go back to the Performance Center and get back to an in-ring career, which I'm a fan of Dio Madden or Mace. He's probably my favorite member of Retribution, if I have to pick a favorite out of that group. So I'm hoping, this is a sign of things to come. This is going to continue, and Retribution's going to start building some steam again. Dana Brooke picked up a win over Shayna Baszler by a DQ, and after the match, we saw the return of Mandy Rose, so it looks like she is back from injury. Matt Riddle got a win over MVP, and then we saw the Ascension ceremony, as they called it, where they raised the WWE Championship above the ring for the TLC pay-per-view coming up tonight. And of course, this ended with AJ Styles, Miz, and Morrison attacking Drew McIntyre. Not a huge surprise there. Moving on to NXT, Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory picked up a win over Kushida and Leon Ruff. Now, this was originally supposed to be Leon Ruff and Damian Priest tag teaming together, but of course last week Damian Priest was taken out by the returning Karrion Kross, so Kushida took his place. Tommaso Ciampa picked up a win over Tyler Rust in a really, really good match. I mean, this I actually considered making the match of the week, is how good of a match this was. I mean, this was a prime example in Tyler Rust's case where you don't have to go over to get over. You know, he looked phenomenal in this match. Triple H even praised him in an interview afterwards. So, yeah, Tyler Rust, great showing on NXT versus arguably the best wrestler in NXT in Tommaso Ciampa. So, yeah, this is another one. Definitely go back and check it out because it was a fantastic match between these two guys. Of course, Timothy Thatcher showed up during the match. Didn't really interfere or anything, but you know they're continuing the storyline with Ciampa and Thatcher. But you know, for me, the biggest story of this was the match itself between Ciampa and Rust. It was a fantastic match between these two guys. And after the match, we saw Malcolm Bivens, manager, come out and start talking to Tyler Rust, basically telling him he's a star and looked like trying to recruit him to his crew. So we may see Malcolm Bivens as a manager of Tyler Rust in the near future. We'll have to see. I already talked about Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne, which was, of course, the match of the week. Great number one contenders match. Kyle O'Reilly will challenge Finn Balor for the NXT Championship in New Year's Evil. We saw another segment with Xia Li and Boa being trained/tortured. This time it was Xia basically just beating and punching and kicking Boa, who was kneeled in front of her, while the old man that had appears to be, you know, kind of pulling the strings here, kept saying again, while Xia was begging, please no more. And Boa, same thing, while this hooded figure was still sitting in the background, just kind of watching over everything. So I'm anxious to see who is going to be revealed as this hooded figure. There's been some speculation that it could be Meiko Satomura, which I think would be really cool. But you know, we'll have to wait and see who this hooded figure is with Xia and Boa. Shotzi Blackheart got a win over Indy Hartwell by a DQ, obviously with, you know, interference from Candice LeRae and the group that is now being called The Way, which is Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Austin Theory, and Indy Hartwell. Found out Bronson Reed is going to be returning next week, so that should be good. Bronson Reed was gaining some steam in NXT before he was injured, so it'll be good to see him back on NXT TV. Karrion Kross returned to the ring, won in a really quick squash match, and we found out Dexter Lumis is going to be hosting the New Year's Evil show on January 6th, so that should be interesting considering Lumis doesn't really talk. So I'm interested to see how that is going to work. And Toni Storm got a win in the main event against Rhea Ripley with a little bit of help from Raquel Gonzalez. Moving on to SmackDown, pretty much the story of the whole show was the Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, and Jey Uso stuff that I was talking about a little while ago. Street Profits did successfully defend the SmackDown Tag Team titles against Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. We saw another promo between Carmella and Sasha Banks, just building up to their match. Sami Zayn held the Sammy Awards, kind of a parody of the Slammy Awards, which are coming up next week. So that should be interesting. But, you know, Big E switched out some of the envelopes on him and made himself Superstar of the Year. So Sammy obviously not happy about that. And Bayley picked up a win over Bianca Belair in, again, a really good match between these two. I'm liking the rivalry between Bayley and Bianca, so I'm hoping it's going to continue for a while. Some miscellaneous WWE news. Ric Flair said in an interview with ESPN that WWE is building a physical Hall of Fame in Orlando, Florida, which is something that people have been asking for years, an actual building that fans can go visit and see, you know, memorabilia and stuff like that from the Hall of Famers. Also found out that Cameron Grimes had surgery this past week for an undisclosed injury, so he will be out for a few weeks. I'm assuming it's a minor injury. Well, I mean, an injury is an injury. I don't like to say minor when it comes to an injury, especially if it requires surgery. But only supposed to be out for a few weeks, so should be back soon. And after Monday Night Raw, we recorded record low ratings, as reported by all the dirt sheets and everything. Apparently, USA Network was furious at the ratings that Raw pulled in on Monday. So rumors are that we are going to see a major shakeup on Monday Night Raw. That USA wants a more adult-oriented show, and not adult as in like sexual or anything like that, but they want a darker, more violent type content for Monday Night Raw is what they mean when they say adult. Now, bear in mind, this is all rumors that are out there from the dirt sheets, so who knows how much truth is behind it, but I am not opposed to Raw being shaken up, quote unquote, so we'll see what happens. But by all accounts, this is supposed to start this coming Monday, tomorrow night, as a matter of fact, after the TLC pay-per-view. So I guess we'll see what's going to happen after the low ratings that were pulled in this week. Let's get into the preview and predictions for the TLC pay-per-view coming up. First and foremost, New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods defending the tag team titles against the Hurt Business, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. You know what? This is hard to call, honestly. Personally, I would like to see the Hurt Business get a title reign with the tag team titles, especially Cedric and Shelton. Shelton Benjamin, been a tag team specialist most of his career. Cedric Alexander, former cruiserweight champion. So, I would like to see the Hurt Business take the win in this one. Now, the last few weeks, we've been seeing Cedric Alexander kind of not really pulling away from the Hurt Business, but kind of being a little bit full of himself and, walking away from the rest of the Hurt Business after his matches, after he picks up a win. He's just kind of walking up the ramp celebrating and leaves everybody else in the ring. So, but I'm going to say the Hurt Business are going to take the Raw Tag Team titles. Sasha Banks will be defending the SmackDown Women's title against Carmella. I got to go with Sasha in this one. I don't think they're going to immediately put the title on Carmella right after she comes back like this. So I'm going to say Sasha is going to retain the title in this one. Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Kevin Owens in a TLC match. I got to pick Roman just because, he's got the numbers advantage with Jey Uso. Still don't know when Jimmy Uso is going to be coming back, and is he going to be on Roman's side or is he going to be in opposition to Roman? But I gotta go with Roman. I don't think they're going to take the title off of him yet. I think Roman is going to hold the Universal title at least until WrestleMania, if not longer. So, that's my pick: Roman Reigns to retain. Then for the women's tag team titles, we've got Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending against Asuka and a partner to be determined. I've seen a lot of speculation and guesses online from fans and stuff like that about this. Could be Mandy Rose, who just came back, or I've seen some people say, maybe this could be the return of Charlotte Flair, who's been off for a little while. One person that I saw in one of the wrestling groups I'm in on Facebook said this would be a great opportunity to bring Rhea Ripley up to the main roster, which I agree with. This would be a good way to bring her in. I think her and Asuka would make a great tag team, especially going up against Shayna and Nia. That I could see that being a great match if that's the case. So, but I don't know, hard to call because I don't know who the mystery partner is. But I'm going to say that Asuka and her partner are going to win the women's tag team titles. Whoever the partner is, I'm going to say Asuka and her partner are going to win it. And then we have The Fiend versus Randy Orton in what's being called a Firefly Inferno match. Now, we've seen plenty of Inferno matches in WWE's history. I'm guessing this is just your basic Inferno match where the ring is kind of surrounded by walls of fire. So, they're just calling it the Firefly Inferno match because it's Bray Wyatt. But this one, Bray Wyatt needs to win this match. Bray Wyatt has this history of having such good rivalries, but then when it comes to the big payoff for those rivalries, he always loses. And this goes back to the Wyatt family and stuff. He never won the payoff match to a big rivalry. So Bray Wyatt needs to win this match, and that is my pick for this one, is The Fiend taking the win over Randy Orton in this Inferno match. And then we've got Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship against AJ Styles in a TLC match. McIntyre, I'm going to say the same thing I did with Roman. I don't see them taking the title off of McIntyre just yet. They did it once with Randy very briefly, and he got it back. Drew got it back really quick. So I think, I don't see him losing it again this quickly. So I'm picking Drew McIntyre to retain. So just to run things down, I've got the Hurt Business winning the Raw Tag Team titles from the New Day, Sasha Banks retaining versus Carmella, Roman Reigns retaining versus Kevin Owens, Asuka and her mystery partner to win the Women's Tag Team titles from Nia and Shayna, The Fiend to defeat Randy Orton in the Inferno match, and Drew McIntyre to retain the WWE Championship in the TLC match against AJ Styles. Moving on to some AEW news from Dynamite this past week, we saw the Hardy Party, which is Matt Hardy and Private Party, defeat Hangman Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds from the Dark Order. A little bit of dissension in this one at the end as Matt Hardy kind of stole the pin from Private Party. So, Matt Hardy going through yet another character change. Seems to be getting a bit arrogant and full of himself. So we'll see where this one's going with Matt Hardy and Private Party. Big announcement was made that Cody and Brandy Rhodes are expecting their first child, so congratulations to them. It was a cool little segment that they did during the show to make the announcement, so congrats to Cody and Brandy on their first child. Afterwards, Cody did pick up a win over Angelico in another great match, or Angelico, excuse me. I always say his name wrong. And then we saw Team Taz come out and basically say they're going to come in the ring and beat the hell out of Cody Rhodes, also making references to Darby Allin, who was up in the upper deck in the stands. And we saw at that point the emergence of Sting, who kind of chased off Team Taz and, motioning towards Darby Allin, and Darby Allin looking right back at Sting. So I'm hoping that is going to be Sting's first match in AEW. Will be Sting and Darby Allin, possibly for the TNT Championship, and I want to see Darby pick up that victory. That's how I would book it. If I'm going to put Sting and Darby Allin in the ring, it's going to be a passing of the torch kind of moment from the original TNT icon to the now TNT champion, and somebody who is well on their way to being the face of AEW in the near future in Darby Allin. So, but that's just me. We saw Eddie Kingston and his family get into a brawl with Death Triangle as well as Lance Archer. Kingston came out to address his enemies and saying that that he and Butcher and the Blade had put Pac on the shelf. That brought out the Lucha Brothers, who of course were outnumbered at that point. And then Pac came running out, so apparently he's not quite on the shelf as Eddie Kingston would have thought. Saw a brawl break out between all these guys, and then Lance Archer made his way to the ring. So I would think to even the sides out, Eddie Kingston is going to end up getting one more member of his family sometime in the near future to even these sides out, because I'm sure we're going to see a match between these two sides in some form or fashion coming up soon. The Inner Circle picked up a win in a 12-man tag team match against the Best Friends, Varsity Blondes, and Top Flight. This one was just all over the place, but it was a pretty good match. It was originally supposed to be a 14-man match, but Brandon Cutler was removed from the Best Friends side because Wardlow was not able to make it to the show. Wardlow, of course, is part of the Inner Circle, but he had a family matter he had to attend to, so he was not able to be at Dynamite, so that's what made this a 12-man match instead of a 14. We saw Britt Baker again with another attack on Thunder Rosa in the backstage area while Thunder Rosa was being interviewed. The Acclaimed surprisingly picked up a victory over SCU, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, and we saw a little bit of dissension among SCU, a lot of frustration coming out with Kazarian and Daniels. Been on a bit of a losing streak, and we could be. I'm hoping we're not going to be seeing the split of SCU. I think everybody knows how big of a fan of SCU I am. They open my show every week, but. We'll see. Is this going to be the split of SCU, or are they going to dial things up and just start dominating the tag team division again? Big Swole and Serena Deeb got a win over Ivelisse and Diamante. really good tag team match between these four women. Then we saw Nyla Rose and Red Velvet also get involved in this match, so I'm sure there will be a 6-woman match coming up sometime soon. And Kenny Omega got victory over Joey Janela. This match was not really a rematch, but an opportunity for Joey Janela, because he was originally supposed to be Kenny Omega's opponent in that number one contender eliminator tournament, but wasn't able to compete due to COVID concerns. So Sonny Kiss took his place, who Omega beat in a matter of seconds. So this was kind of Janela's opportunity. If he would have beat Kenny, he would have got a world title match, but Omega was victorious in that one. And we found out we are going to see, well, after the match, the Death Triangle came out, and Pac made mention that, Phoenix never got his chance to move on in that tournament either, because he was pulled by Eddie Kingston and replaced with Pentagon. So on December the 30th, we're going to see a match between Phoenix and Kenny Omega for the World Championship. So that match should be crazy. Honestly, I would love to see this match be for both the AEW Championship and the AAA Mega Championship, which Kenny Omega also holds. And Phoenix was the person that he beat for that title, but I'm assuming that's not going to happen. But I just think it'd be cool. But yeah, December 30th, Phoenix versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World title. A little bit of news out of Japan. It's looking like Tokyo Police are going to be filing charges in the death of Hana Kimura. If you remember, Hana is the very, very young wrestler who took her own life earlier this year as a result of just relentless bullying and hatred that she was receiving online from one fan in particular, who was kind of the biggest source of all of this, and that is the person that Tokyo Police are looking at filing charges against. I would assume it would be something along the lines of either... Yeah, I'm not even going to try to venture a guess, because I don't know how the laws regarding those things work in Japan. I'm trying to think of what he would be charged with in the U.S. I'm not really 100% sure. But they will, and more power to them, as they should. I mean, people need to realize, everybody likes to say, oh, it's just words, it's just words. Well, words do have impact, and with some people they have a bigger impact than others, and so people need to realize, yeah, you've got freedom of speech, but that doesn't mean you're free from the consequences of that speech or what that speech causes. So we'll keep an eye on this one, see how that goes. Moving on to Ring of Honor, they had their Final Battle pay-per-view this past Friday, and looked to be a good show. I wasn't able to watch the pay-per-view myself, but let's run down the results right here. Tony Deppen picked up a victory over LSG, Josh Woods, and Dak Draper, and this was a 4-corner match for a shot at the World Television title later on in the show. The Foundation team of Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus defeated Fred Yehai and Wheeler Yuta in a Pure Rules tag team match. I would have loved to have seen this one. Hopefully, I'll be able to check it out on a replay or something like that. But I said before, I love the Pure Rules matches, and this, as far as I'm aware, is the first ever Pure Rules tag team match. So, but yeah, the Foundation, Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus got the victory in this one. Another victory for the Foundation. Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham retained the tag team championships against Mark Briscoe and PCO. Ray Horace got the win over Dalton Castle. OGK, OG Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett picked up a win over the Righteous, which is Vincent and Bateman, in a grudge match. Danhausen defeated Brian Johnson to get his Ring of Honor contract. So Danhausen now officially a member of the Ring of Honor roster. So great for Danhausen. If you have not seen Danhausen, check out Ring of Honor. He is very, very entertaining, and once you get past his gimmick, he is a great in-ring performer. If he wasn't, Ring of Honor wouldn't have signed him. I mean, let's be honest here. Dragon Lee successfully defended the television championship against Tony Deppen. Shane Taylor defeated Jay Briscoe. It was originally supposed to be EC3 versus Jay Briscoe, but EC3 not able to compete due to COVID concerns, so Shane Taylor was a replacement. He picked up the win. Jonathan Gresham successfully defended the ROH Pure Championship against Flip Gordon. Gresham won that match by referee stoppage. This is another one that I would really like to check out, so hopefully I can get it on a replay. and Roosh successfully defended the ROH World Championship against Brody King. From what I read, there was a little bit of shenanigans going on. Roosh's brother, Dragon Lee, causing some distraction, and apparently their father, who I did not take note of his name, I'm sorry, but interfered in the match, allowing Roosh to pick up the win, and he is now part of their Ring of Honor faction, which is kind of an offshoot of Los Ingobernables from CMLL, also from New Japan. So Roosh, the founder of that faction, so he's brought it to Ring of Honor. Goes by a different name. Honestly, I don't have that one written down either. So you can tell I'm well prepared this week, guys. Moving on to Impact, Tenille Dashwood got a win over Alicia Edwards, but the big story in this one was Sami Callihan showing up on the big screen after the match and challenging Eddie Edwards to a match which is going to take place on the January 5th episode of Impact. And Sami and Eddie Edwards, this rivalry has been going on for a long time, since Sami Callihan basically broke Eddie Edwards' face with a baseball bat. It's been on and off for a couple of years already, so I have no issue with Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards one more time because they put on some fantastic matches. Had a promo from Moose talking about how he took out Willie Mack, and Willie Mack came out to the ringside area, challenged Moose to an I Quit match, which is going to take place at the Genesis Impact Plus special coming up in January. We had another paid ad from Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone. I'm loving these quote-unquote paid ads from AEW during Impact Television. It's, I find them entertaining as hell. There's a lot of fans out there like to poke fun at them and talk crap about Tony Khan and that kind of stuff, but I think they're cool little segments, so I loved it. We saw Cody Deaner officially become part of Eric Young's faction with Joe Doring. Cody Deaner was baptized, quote-unquote, by Eric Young in a few different segments throughout the show. Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan picked up a win over Taya and Rosemary, which I was kind of surprised at this one. I had Taya and Rosemary getting the win in this match, but Tasha and Kiera move on to the finals of the Knockouts Tag Team Title Tournament. Brian Myers got a win over Josh Alexander by disqualification because of interference by the Karate Man, which is the alter ego of Ethan Page. Now, I think it's pretty well known by now Ethan Page is going to be leaving Impact. Actually, I believe this probably was his last Impact appearance because the next 2 weeks of Impact are just recap shows, the best of 2020. So, this was the last Impact of 2020 for all intents and purposes. So, I'm pretty sure this is probably the last time we'll see Ethan Page in Impact. So we saw the appearance of the Karate Man interfering in Josh Alexander's match and causing the DQ. Carl Anderson got the win over Chris Sabin, and after this match is when we saw that Bullet Club reunion that I was talking about earlier that led to the signing of that six-man match coming up at Hard to Kill. After the match, we saw Rich Swann kind of getting in Carl Anderson's face about the way that he won the match. We saw, a fight break out between those two. Motor City Machine Guns jumped in. Luke Gallows jumped in. And then we saw Kenny Omega attacking Rich Swann, and this is what led to signing that six-man tag team match. So I cannot wait to see that one. Like I said, that match alone is going to be worth the price of that pay-per-view coming up next month. Some MLW news. Filthy Tom Lawler got a win over ACH in the Opera Cup semifinals. So the finals are set for the Opera Cup. It is going to be Filthy Tom Lawler versus Low Key coming up this week. So, I will be keeping a close eye on that one. That has, match of the week potential written all over it. I can't wait to see it. These are two of my favorite guys right now. I've been a Low Key fan since I first saw him in TNA way back when. And Filthy Tom Lawler, after seeing him in MLW, calling a lot of his matches at Warrior Wrestling, he has quickly become another one of my favorites. So I cannot wait to see this match. We saw another segment with Selena De La Renta and It is confirmed from Selena's own mouth. Mil Muertes is coming. Mil Muertes from Lucha Underground. So I'm guessing he is going to be the same character that we saw in Lucha Underground. So yeah, Mil Muertes, a force to be reckoned with, and under the guidance of Selena De La Renta. I think I was just calling her Selena Vega. I'm sorry about that. But under the guidance of Selena De La Renta in MLW, yeah, I can't wait to see what Mil Muertes is going to be doing in MLW. So that's going to wrap things up for news and rumors for the week. So right now I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he's here with the Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey to wrestling friends. I am Charlie G with your Indie Cut. We begin with Friday, December 11th with the stuff I missed. Alternative Pro Wrestling from Royston, Georgia. They had an APW Southern States title match with champion Jackson Carter defeating James Boulevard. We go to Canton, Georgia, and Southern Honor Wrestling. They had a tournament matches as well, which led to a six-way match for the Southern Honor Wrestling title. It was David Ali defeating Ashton Starr, Chip Day, Cyrus the Destroyer, Gunnar Miller, and Owen Knight to become new champion. We move to Piedmont, Alabama, and Pro South Wrestling for the YouTube title. Scott Patterson defeated champion James Hardy by DQ, so no change there. And the all-out title, champion Cameron Keese defeated Chris Crunk. We go to Cornelia, Georgia, and Heritage Championship Wrestling Fight Before Christmas. They had a Heritage Championship Wrestling title versus Anarchy Landmark Heritage title, with Heritage Champion CT Keys and Landmark Champion Scott Mason going to a double DQ. Action Wrestling from Tyrone, Georgia. Commando Man Dan defeated Damian Tangre. Nice to see Commando Man Dan back in action. And for their action title, Eric Royal defeated champion AC Mack by DQ. They also had a Action Friday Night Fights show where Adam Priest defeated Sean Dean, Dominic Garrini defeated Alex Kane by referee's decision, and Anthony Henry defeated Shug D. We go to Saturday, December 12th, Insane Championship Wrestling Fight Club 149. That from Glasgow, Scotland. That is actually on the WWE Network with their Lionheart League block matches, so check that out if you wish. We head back to the States for Warriors of Wrestling 13th Anniversary Show from New York City, New York. In their tag title match, champion Jack Gallo and Jason Carrion defeated Isaiah Wolf and Marcus Marquis, my bad. In their No Limits title match, Chris Steeler defeated champion Dexter to become the champion. And in their heavyweight title match, Darius Carter defeated Abraham Khan. Go to Bethany, Oklahoma, Wrestling for a Cause. In their Hometown Heroes title match, champion Dmitry Alexandrov defeated Barrett Brown. Synergy Pro Wrestling had a 2020 Women's Garden State Invitational tournament. First up was a Synergy Cruiserweight Crown title match with champion Casey Cattell defeated Solo Darling. I consider that a minor upset there. Then we go to the Invitational first round matches, which Willow Nightingale, Holla Dead, Tasha Steelz, and Trish Adora all won those. In the semis, it was Holla Dead defeated Willow Nightingale, and Tasha Steelz defeating Trish Adora. And for the Women's Garden State Invitational final match, Tasha Steelz defeated Holla Dead. Go to Maryville, Tennessee. And Total Psychopathic Wrestling Beatings 2. Matt Robbie defeated James Ellsworth and Steve Burns. Facade defeated Jason Gorey. And in a barefoot death match, Tristan Ramsey defeated Sarah Dox. Southern Violence and Wrestling, No Presents for Christmas from Athens, Georgia. In their title match, Bruce champions Bryce Cannon and Eddie Hancho defeated King Garada and Tangra. They had a Hoss fight title match, which was vacant. So Austin Towers defeated Hold My Beer Hansen to become new champion. In a no-holds-barred match, Brad Cash defeated Effie. So Effie was even in Athens, Georgia. And Axelrod, Brandon Watley, and Ryan Murdoch defeated Chop Top and Tyler Graves. Yeah, okay. In Fort Myers, Florida, Real Pro Wrestling was the Fight Before Christmas. For the hardcore title, no DQ match. Champion Zach Monstar defeated Bud Heavy. Then to ICW No Holds Barred Pit Fighter 5. Shane Mercer defeated Daniel Garcia. Dominic Green defeated Gary J. In a Christmas Tree Death Match, Neil Diamond Cutter defeated Jeff Cannonball. And John Wayne Murdoch defeated Nolan Edward. East Coast Pro Wrestling Christmas Chaos 2020. For the tag titles, champions Frankie Flo and Junior Flo defeated Samson Khan and Tony Vega. Light heavyweight title, Ray Calitri defeated Dirtbag Dan, who was their champion, by countout. In their heavyweight title, champion Kenny Bengal defeated Azrael. They had a 21-man battle royal where the winner was Big Bad Blake. And Becca Scott defeated Olympia Marie. Up to Waukesha, Wisconsin, and Brew City Wrestling. Sierra defeated Sky Blue. In their Brew City Wrestling tag title match, Cypher and Nacho Clown, who we met at Warrior Wrestling, defeated Chucky Bates and Gunnar Wicks, who are champions, but Cypher and Nacho Clown defeated them to become new champs, so congrats to them. And in a Carolina Reaper match, Ethan Matthews defeated Aesop Mitchell. Down to Arizona Wrestling Federation Christmas Chaos 2020 from Phoenix, Arizona. Ray Black defeated Aguila. In their AWF Women's title match, champion Mystique defeated SOS by DQ. R3 defeated Ricky Mandel. And in their heavyweight title match, champion Parada defeated Hammerstone. So that had to be a good match there. CMLL tapings, Euphoria, Gran Guerrero, and Ultimo Guerrero defeated Mystico, Valador Jr., and Christico. So check that out on YouTube. Pretty much there. Oh, and a Triple Mania update. Only the final 3 matches are available on their Facebook page. So check that out while you can before it goes away. Or until they come back, edit it out probably. On to Sunday, December 13th. Oz Academy Have a Great Year from Osaka, Japan. Rina Singaki, Awakening 5 match series second match. So Tsubasa Kirigaki defeated Rina Singaki. In an 8-woman tag match, Aja Kong, Hiriro Matsumoto, Kiru Yonayama, and Yoshiko defeated Maya Yukai, Miyumi Ozuki, Sierra Onoi, and Yumi Oka. In a Pure J Climax 2020 show, for a daily sports tag title match, champions Hanako Nakamori and Rina Yamashita defeated Chi Azura and Makoto. And in the Pure J Openweight title, champion Leon defeated Mocha Haruhai. There was a Freedoms and Active Advanced Pro Wrestling team-up show where Jun Kasai defeated Tatsuya Hanami and Hayato Yoshida, defeating Tomoya Hirata. Dantabori Pro Wrestling Final Battle. They had a tag title match of Hirutoki and Yoto Kaiuchi. Defeated champions Katsumura Urubi and Kazuki Miyahara to become new champions. Dragon Gate Fantastic Gate Day 8. Don Fuji and Masaki Ozuki defeated Diamante and Takashi Yoshida. In an 8-man tag, Dragon Dia, Jason Lee, Kota Miyonora, and Shun Skywalker defeated Ben K, Kensuke Okuda, KZY, and Yamato. And a 10-man tag match, it was Eita, HYO, Hip Hop Kakuda, Kaito Ishida, and SB Kento, defeating Dragon Kid, Masato Yoshino, Naruki Doi, Shinsu Kando, and the Ultimate Dragon. We move to Princess World Women Pro Wrestling Diana, where Haruka Yumasaki took on Starlight Kid to a 15-minute time limit draw. And Yaiko Sato and Kuri Ito took on Kyuko Inoi and Nagasi Nasaka to a 20-minute time limit draw. Onto a Stardom show, Road to Osaka Dream Cinderella, where it's pretty much the friends and factions versus each other. So we had Riho defeating Lady C and Ruka. In a 4-way match, it was B. Priestley, Konami, Natsuka Tora, and Saki Kashima. Went to a countout. 4-way countout, yep. 4-way countout. And a 2-way match, Momo Watanabe defeated Saya Kamatani, Utami Hayashita. And a 6-woman tag, Mayu Iwatani and Saya Linda and Starlight Kid defeated Mina Shirakawa, Tam Nakano, and Unagi Sakura. And then Micah and Siri defeated Julia and Humeka. Good show. So check that out. Dragon Gate Dream Team. Hellgate Buka Edition on YouTube. This was pretty much DDT Extreme title matches with champion Sanshiro Takagi defeating 5 people in singles matches, and then there was 2 DDT Extreme title tag matches featuring him as well. So check that out if you wish. Big Japan Pro Wrestling Triumphant Local Return. We had Weapons Deathmatch. Drew Parker and Yoko Miyamoto defeated Ryuji Ito and Yuki Ishikawa. In a hardcore match, Kanako Hoshino defeated Akira Hyodo. And then Daisuke Sakamoto teamed with Yuji Okabayashi and Yuyu Oki to defeat Daichi Hashimoto, Hideyoshi Kamatani, and Takuya Noro. Sorry about those names, folks. All Japan Pro Wrestling Prime Night 2020. Tajiri defeated Akira Francesco. Jake Lee defeated Itsuki Ayagi. In All Japan TV 6-man tag match, Black Mensorio, Karbel Ito, and Takai Omiro defeated Dimanji So, Revlon, and Ruji Sai to become new champs. Jun Kasai, Kenshi Fukumoto, and Masashi Takeda defeated Chikara Yoshitatsu and Yusuke Okada. And another 6-man match was Shima, Kento Miyahara, and Yuma Aogi to defeat Tsuji Ishikawa, Sawama, and Hikaru Sato. There was an Actress Girls in Osaka show. Yeah, enough of that. Active Advanced Pro Wrestling had their own show, Shy Battle 81. Then back here in the States for Asylum Wrestling Revolution, Christmas Clash. Jake and Fans Bring the Presents match. Jake Chris defeated Chet Ripley. And in their heavyweight title 2-on-1 handicap match, champion Justin Kyle defeated Dick Michaels and Tyler Lytle. Wrestle America 5 Before Christmas from Brownsville, Georgia. A lumberjack match, Dream Girl Ellie defeated Brian North. And the Koloff dynasty of Alexander Koloff and Neil Koloff, with Nikita Koloff in the corner, defeated the Rock and Roll Express of Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. I would have liked to see that match, that's for sure. Future mean the past. That had to be pretty cool. There was No Peace Underground, Will Never Be One of Us show. No, I have to go into that. Then International Wrestling Revolution Group had a show in Mexico. So check that out on their Lucha Plus YouTube if you can find it. On to Monday, December 14th, H2O Undiscovered 39 took place. In their Undiscovered title match, champion Gigi Everson defeated Declan Grant. On to Tuesday, December 15th, New Japan Road to Tokyo Dome Day 1. I'll just go through who's in these tags because it's pretty much going to be like that, pretty much till the road. And these were not, and the first 3 were not televised, not until 21st. So you're not missing much, trust me. In 6-man tag, it was Desperado, Minoru Suzuki, and Kanemaru. They return after his injury, defeating Master Wato, Raisuke Taguchi, and Yoto Tsuji. That one will be interchangeable as the days go on. Then it was Bad Luck Fale, Chase Owens, and Yujiro Takahashi, defeating Togi Makabe, Tomoka Hanma, and Toriano. Then there was Doki, Taichi, and Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Jado, Tamatanga, and Tangaloa. Then Hiromu Takahashi, Sonata, and Shingo Takagi defeated Dick Togo, Evil, and Tachi Ishimori. The Great Okan, Jeff Cobb, and Will Ospreay defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kazuchika Okada, and Tai Hanori. And Kota Ibushi teamed with Sho to defeat Bushi and Naito. They go back and forth through the next couple shows, so trust me, you're not missing much. So that's why they're not televising them. On to Dragon Gate, Fantastic Gate, Day 9. Let's go with this. Don Fuji and Shuji Kondo and Ultimo Dragon defeated Diamante, Kai, and Takashi Yoshida. Then there was a Champions Pro Wrestling from Pretoria, South Africa. So you are now on the map. They had a hardcore match of Weiss defeating Renegade. The Loudmouth defeated RJ. And Alessio and Super Dragon defeated Anazi and Ashton Hay. So South Africa is finally back on the wrestling map. We move to Wednesday, December 16th. New Japan Day 2. Stardom Day 2. Dreams on their road. We had Starlight Kid defeat Lady C. Two-way match. Gokikin Death defeated Konami and Rika. Mayu Iwatani defeated Saya Ida. Riho and Saya Kamatani defeated Himeka and Maika. Then for the Artists of Stardom title match, Mina Shirakawa, Tam Nakano, and Unagi Sayaka defeated champions Bea Priestley, Natsuko Tora, and Saki Kashima to become new champions. So congrats to them. Then we had in the main event, it was Momo Watanabe and Siri defeated Julia and Utami Hayashita. So that had to be a good show. Ice Ribbon's Peace Party 62 took place. Limitless The Road Season 2 Show 9 took place here in the States. Boomer Hatfield defeated Nick Strap. Channing Thomas defeated Little Mean Kathleen, sorry about that. Eric Johnson defeated Love Doug. And Christian Casanova defeated Alec Price. On to Juggalo Championship Wrestling from Milford, Michigan. Some of these names will surprise you. So, Madman Pondo defeated Satu Jun. Rhino defeated Nate Bach. Congo Kong defeated Madman Fulton. And for the vacant JCW heavyweight title match, Too Tough Tony defeated Teddy Hart. Yes, Teddy Hart actually got to wrestle. Thursday, December 17th, there was nothing. Yay! Alright, on Friday, December 18th, Wave Kabuki Weekender show took place. In their Regina D-Wave title #1 contendership tournament final match, Sakura Haruta defeated Dash Chisako. New Japan Road to Tokyo Dome Day 3. There was a Arena 2020 Enjoy Arena's Christmas show. There was 3 matches. All had Christmas gimmick matches, so no need to go into that. On to Super Kicked Unlisted 12 from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, on YouTube. So check this out if you wish. CMLL, more taping, where El Turbo, Euphoria, and Mephisto defeated Caristico, Star Jr., and Valador Jr. Then on to earlier today, Saturday, December 19th, Noah the Gift 2020 in Nagoya. Oh, I really didn't edit this, so we're going to go to their junior heavyweight title match with champion Daisuke Hirata defeated Tadasuke. And in their tag title match, champions Kazushi Sakuraba and Takashi Sugiura defeated Kaito Kiyomiya and Yoshiki Inamura. On to Michinoku Pro Wrestling Volume 2. Emi Sakura and Mai Sugiura defeated Bullion Aki and Shei Koshikawa. Then they had a Great Space 4 10-man tag match. Pretty much guys dressed up as other people, so I won't really get into that. There was an Ice Ribbon 1087 show where Risa Sera defeated Satsuki Totoro. Gatumu Chaka Pro 73 on YouTube. So Emi Sakura and Saika Obihiro defeated Lulu Pencil and Mei Sugiura. And Antonio Honda defeated Balin Aki. There were a Tokyoshi Pro and DD Show tape for later in the week, so I will hold off on those results. That's a wrap for me. Till next time, where I will talk about something wrestling related. I don't know if I'm doing a recap show or just the usual. I'll let you'll find out when the next show is, guys. Don't forget to look up those Twitch streams and YouTube channels for other wrestling content. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Have a nice holiday season as best you can. Keep safe, take care, and be kind, everyone. Back to you, Tom.
All right, thank you, Charlie. So let's keep it moving right along into our next segment here where I get to play kind of armchair booker, and that is the fantasy booker. All right, so we are continuing the CHS Faction Tournament with the second semifinal match, and this one is the Elite versus the Bullet Club. Now, if you remember, for the purposes of this tournament, the Bullet Club being represented by the original members of that club: Prince Devitt, a.k.a. Finn Balor, Bad Luck Fale, Carl Anderson. And the Elite, of course, is the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, Hangman Page, and Marty Scurll. And this is tough because Bullet Club, been pretty much the top faction in New Japan Pro Wrestling for a long time. But I gotta give the edge in this one to the Elite simply because, these guys struck out on their own. Not so much Marty Scurll, but the rest of them struck out on their own, created a brand new company, took a huge chance because it could have fallen flat on its face very easily and very quickly. And, so far they have been thriving. So I gotta give this one to the Elite. So this is gonna lead into the finals next week on the last show of 2020, and it is going to be the Elite versus the Four Horsemen in the finals of the CHS faction tournament. Yeah, I mean that's a dream match in anybody's book. I don't care who you are: Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Barry Windham taking on the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, Cody Rhodes, Marty Scurll. Yeah, wow. So yeah, the Elite versus the Four Horsemen will be the finals of the CHS faction tournament coming up next week. All right, so let's get into the last segment of the show here, where I give kind of an unpopular opinion or argument about something going on in the world of pro wrestling, and that is called the Weekly Hot Take. All right, so my hot take for this week is this. Main roster stars being sent back to the WWE Performance Center is not that big of a deal. I mentioned earlier about Keith Lee supposedly being sent back. Another one was Otis that was mentioned to, being sent back to the Performance Center. Number one, all the shows are taking place in Orlando anyway, which is where the Performance Center is. So you figure everybody is going to be in the Performance Center to work out, to train, to do whatever, to work out their matches or whatever it might be. Everybody's going to be going to the PC, because right now there are no house shows going on. You figure that's where wrestlers get, especially WWE wrestlers, get a majority of their reps, so to speak, is during house shows. Well, there are none. Most of these guys and girls are working once a week rather than, 5 to 6 times a week as it would normally be. So, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to the Performance Center to work out and to train and to sharpen their skills and to keep themselves in the proper shape, because they're not getting all of that ring time that they normally would if WWE was touring around the world. So it's really not that big a deal. Even if somebody was told, hey, you need to spend a little more time in the Performance Center, for this or that reason, it's not that big a deal. It's something that I'm sure has been going on since this whole lockdown started anyway, since WWE's been running shows out of their Performance Center out of necessity. I'm sure everybody's been spending a lot more time there. So really not a big deal to have any main roster stars, quote unquote, sent to the Performance Center to sharpen their skills. So that's pretty much all I got to say on that. People were just, overinflating this, blowing it way out of proportion, like it's some kind of knock against these guys, and it's really not. I mean, like I said, I'm positive it's something that was going on anyway. So it is what it is. Anyway, so coming up next week, as I said, it is the final show of 2020, which means we will be having the 2020 year-end awards for Match of the Year, Wrestler of the Year, and I forgot what other ones I got, but those are the big ones. And Match of the Year and Wrestler of the Year, there's going to be 3 in each of those categories for men's, women's, and tag teams. So make sure you tune in next week, check those out. Like I said, we'll also have the finals of the Fantasy Booker faction tournament, Four Horsemen versus the Elite. and of course all the news and rumors and results from this upcoming week for TLC and Raw and Smackdown and Dynamite and whatever else might be going on in the wonderful world of professional wrestling. So with that, until then, I am going to sign off. Hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy TLC tonight. Enjoy all the wrestling coming up this week, and I will talk to you guys soon.